Carlos Ghosn, let's talk about life as a CEO in the era of President Trump. The president's America First doctrine certainly complicates things for the alliance that you run between Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi. When it comes to free trade, how do you see the path forward?
I think free trade is going to continue. I think there are going to be some adjustments made to free trade, particularly under the angle of fair trade, because a lot of the agreements have been done, probably signed 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, at a moment where emerging markets were really emerging. A lot of these emerging markets became powerhouses today. So the fact that there are some adjustments taking consideration the reality, the new reality, is not something surprising. So I don't think that what's happening today is something which is a negation of free trade. Not at all. It's an adjustment on free trade, taking consideration the new reality of the market. I understand that there are a lot of discussion that, to rediscuss the trade between the United States and India, the United States and Japan, the United States and Mexico. Well, let's see what's going to be the outcome. But I can bet you that the outcome is going to be more adjustments, taking into consideration the reality of the economy of this country compared to when the agreement was signed, much more than a kind, okay, we're going to close the border or we're going to be putting much more taxes on trades. For a very simple reason is free trade benefit everybody. What people are asking for is fair trade. They consider that if you don't retouch this agreement from time to time, the fair and free trade that exists has become unfair for some parties.
And that's arguably what won the president this election, especially along the Rust Belt where a lot of these cars are made. You guys produce cars in Mexico just along with just about everyone else.
Yeah.
What the president has said about producing cars in Mexico, building plants in Mexico, it has shifted the plans of some of your competitors, like Ford, for example. Has it shifted your plans?
Without any doubt, all car makers are listening to what the president of the United States is saying. I mean, this is the second largest market, and all of a sudden, the president is saying, guys, you have so far relied on NAFTA to make your decision. Hey, wait a minute, this is going to change. So obviously, we are listening.
But
because
does it
we
mean
obviously
you scrap plans to build plants?
No, I don't think that for the moment, we want to know NAFTA is going to be replaced by what.
Right.
That's the most important thing. When this decision will be made, and we have every reason to think that it will be made fairly soon.
You need it to be.
Probably,
you need
clarity.
clarity.
In 2017, after this, a lot of decisions will be made. But I can tell you that absolutely no doubt that all car makers will be listening, watching, and deciding in consequence. I mean, we don't say, okay, we like this rule, we don't like this one. No, we try to adapt to the rules. We adapted to NAFTA, we'll adapt to whatever follow NAFTA.
So this president takes a lot of credit for saving American jobs, from Carrier to Ford to Boeing, you name it. Some of that has been proven out. Some of it, they were jobs that were already going to be here. Do you give the president credit for saving American jobs? How do you see the president when it comes to jobs?
I think he's attracting the attention to the fact that the U.S. is the #1 economy, the second largest car market in the world. And there's going to be scrutiny about how much the U.S., as one of the largest markets in the world, is going to be benefiting from the job creation to source and supply the United States. It's okay. I mean, it's fair. I mean, frankly, I'm seeing it in many countries in the world where people say, okay, if you want to operate in our country, we want you to build your engineering here. We want you to build your plants here. Yeah. So we will be doing that. I mean, what I want to tell you is that the industry, our industry, is very adaptable, and our industry operates in many, many countries in the world. And we are used to see changes of administration, changes of rules, adaptation of new systems, and we just need to know exactly what is the reliable rule on which we can base our operation.
So here's a huge one that the president himself is grappling with right now, a border adjustment tax, and whether or not the United States should have that. The National Retail Federation, other consumer groups are crying foul. They say, no way, that would mean a 15% hike in prices across the board for American consumers. You could tell in the president's address to Congress that he's not, hasn't decided which way to go on this one. How do you see it?
No, I think the car industry in general, because obviously we share all the same opinion, is not very positive toward this transformation. But this has not been decided. It's normal that before making a decision, you have a lot of different ideas, different schools, different proposals which are being debated before a decision is made. What's important for us is at the end of the day the final decision.
You think a border adjustment tax is bad?
No, I think it's bad for our own industry.
So what do you do?
I cannot say if it's bad for the country.
Sure.
I can say it's not good for our own industry.
So what do you do if it gets enacted?
Well, we will adapt. No, we will adapt. I mean, what do you want?
I guess what I'm sure, I should clarify my question. What I mean, does that mean that I pay more for my Nissan?
Oh, on the short term, yes.
Yeah.
On the short term. But you have to be careful. This is a very competitive industry. So whenever you have a sudden change and that the costs increase, automatically car makers will have a tendency to pass part of the cost to the consumer. But then they compete, which means that this additional cost, little by little, is going to fade away because we're going to try to absorb the cost by doing something else.